Welcome into the NFL on Fox podcast presented by Verizon. I'm Dave Helman, and unless you're old enough to remember when gasoline was 90 cents a gallon, you just witnessed your first Raiders win over the Packers. Yes, the Las Vegas Raiders outlast the Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football by a score of 17-13, something that has not happened since 1987, 36 years ago. Now, it's not as crazy in reality as it sounds on the surface. Raiders are an AFC team. Green Bay is an NFC team. They only play every 4 years. And maybe you've heard the Packers have had MVP caliber quarterback play for most of the last 36 years. So I get why this stat exists, but it is still wild to think that unless you remember the Reagan administration, this is the first time you've seen the Raiders get a win over Green Bay. Absolutely crazy. Crazy finish in this game. Let's take it to the very end. That's what matters. Jordan Love heaves it to the end zone at the end of regulation, last minute of this game, picked off for the third time by the Raiders. Amik Robertson, the cornerback, 5'9", skies up over Christian Watson to haul in the end zone interception. I can hear Green Bay fans arguing that maybe there should have been a pass interference call, maybe, but I think it's okay to let these guys play in a situation like this. We know pass interference and holding calls favor the offense so much. I'm fine with the defense getting a win. I thought this was going to have a completely different ending, because if you go back and watch the end of this, the way Jordan Love evaded pressure, got out of the pocket and starts drifting forward and immediately uncorked it downfield for Christian Watson. I thought he was going to be wide ass open. I thought he was going to be standing all alone in the end zone for the game-winning score, but the coverage was phenomenal. Raiders get out of this thing with a defensive win. They pick off Jordan Love 3 times in this game. We'll get back to that. But I want to make sure I don't completely bury the lead, because in no way should the Las Vegas Raiders winning this game bail out another insane situational decision from Raiders coach Josh McDaniels. This is the second time he's done it this season. We've only played 5 of these things. So almost half the time we're seeing, in my opinion, insanity from the head coach of the Raiders inside the final 2.5 minutes of these games. So let's take you to the end of this thing. Raiders are up 17-13. They're at the Green Bay 34-yard line at the 2-minute warning. Raiders have been driving. They've been running the ball, forcing Green Bay to call timeout. 4th and 2 at the 34-yard line. Josh McDaniels elects to kick a 52-yard field goal to extend the lead to 20-13. So not even a lead that puts the game away, simply a lead that makes it so you can't give up the lead. You probably go to overtime. A 52-yard field goal. Keep in mind, earlier in this game, just before halftime, Daniel Carlson, a wonderful kicker. It's no knock against him, but he'd had a kick blocked from the same distance, blocked from 53. This was from 52. Josh McDaniels elects to kick this, knowing that if he gets 2 yards, the Packers are basically, they're down to their last timeout. They're in a hopeless situation. You end the game if you get 2 yards. Even if Daniel Carlson makes the field goal, it's 20-13. Green Bay gets the ball with a little less than 2 minutes to play and a timeout. That's an eternity. It's at least a shot for Green Bay to go down the field and tie the game. Maybe even elect to go for 2 and win it. That would be really crazy. But it obviously doesn't get to that point. But I don't understand the thought process here. It's an incredibly high degree of difficulty kick, even for a great kicker like Carlson. And you still have to then turn around and play defense and play well enough to prevent a game-tying score. Or maybe you know that the Raiders have the reigning rushing champion, Josh Jacobs, in the backfield and could hand him the ball for 2 yards, or really call any play you want. 2 yards away. I know it's easier said than done. I know it's the NFL. But Josh Jacobs did have 69 yards in this game. He had a touchdown, punched it in on the goal line, made it look easy earlier in the game. I'm taking my chances. I'm taking my chances that we get the 2 yards and we say, this game's over. We're ending the game with the ball. We are not getting Jordan Love an opportunity. I think it's a crazy decision by Josh McDaniels. I think it's worse than his decision to kick a field goal down 8 against Pittsburgh just a couple weeks ago. Both incredibly strange and would be a lot more understandable if the Raiders were this juggernaut team, a heavy favorite in every game that they play. We've got the better talent. We've got the better quarterback. Let's just play this conservative and our talent will win out in the end. That's not what the Raiders are. They improved to 2-3 with this win. I don't get why you play conservative in games where you're either an underdog or it's basically a toss-up. Go win the game, man. Don't count on Amik Robertson skying over Christian Watson. It worked. It worked, and hey, you win. You keep the season alive. You go to 2-3. It's going to be a long flight back to Green Bay for Jordan Love. 3 interceptions on the night. I can't let go of Josh McDaniels making that decision, even if it didn't bite him in this circumstances. But it is a big win for the Las Vegas Raiders in front of basically a Green Bay crowd. Good for them. Jordan Love, there's so much to like. It's been the story through 5 weeks. Really like watching him play football. It's very entertaining. Works well with what Matt LaFleur likes to do, Green Bay head coach. But 3 interceptions on the night. 2 of them were forced throws that I would say he didn't have to make. You don't have to go for the end zone at the end, even though it's 3rd down. You can either live to fight another down or maybe survey a different part of the field. Like I said, it looked like he had his eyes on Christian Watson from the very beginning. 2 forced interceptions, 1 that gets batted up and lands in a Raiders' arms. And then the 3rd one, which was actually the first one, just didn't even see the defender in front of him, just completely missed the guy in coverage. Lot to like. Not surprisingly, Jordan Love looks like a guy making his first starts in the NFL. This is to be expected. Big win for the Las Vegas Raiders.